Welcome back to the PigSkin podcast. This is episode 29. This will be a review of NFL Super Wildcard Weekend. That's pretty much it. Not a whole lot of shit has happened this past weekend outside of Alabama hiring Caitlin DeBoer, Washington getting Jed Fish, and Ted McMillan and Noah Fafita are actually staying at Arizona for the time being. So
That is
which
true.
is pretty cool.
They're getting paid a fat NIL package.
Oh, they're getting. They might as well own the state of Arizona. That's insane. Also, we nearly got a leak for NCAA Football 25, but then EA Sports decided to suck shit through a straw, so not getting that. But anyways, we'll kick it off with Saturday's games, the first of which being, everyone always makes the joke, taking the Browns to the Super Bowl. That team was getting nowhere close to the fucking Super Bowl. So, what are your thoughts on it, man?
Yeah, it was an ass kicking. Well, most of the games were ass kickings.
Yeah.
There wasn't really like a good close game except for like the Lions Rams.
Mm-hmm.
Bills Steelers was pretty close for a little while, but yeah, in terms of the Browns and the Texans, I guess there was like a moment in time where maybe you thought like the Browns are like the most trustworthy team with Joe Flacco, but he kind of turned back into an old man that game.
Yeah.
He looked old. It was kind of sad to watch. And I know the Browns defense wasn't, doing him any favors. I mean, letting up the points that they did against CJ Stroud. Two of the how many pick sixes did they have?
Two.
They had two, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they had two pick sixes. You were just kind of hoping in that moment that maybe Joe Flacco could make a tackle and not let them score. But yeah, it was kind of sad to watch. It was fun while it lasted with the Flacco Linsanity run.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean he's old. He looked old, unfortunately.
You know who didn't look old? CJ fucking Stroud.
Yeah, and we'll get into that here in a second. But yeah, the Browns. I mean, yeah, Myles Garrett had been injured for most of the season. They dealt with a shit ton of injuries.
Yeah.
Like their season, we had talked about it. It had been kind of a roller coaster throughout. I mean, Denzel Ward gets hurt. Juwan Thornhill had gotten hurt. Myles Garrett. They had so many injuries that they had to deal with, and then they had just a roller coaster carousel of just quarterbacks coming in to save the day. And like they still were 11-6. I mean, they made the playoffs with how bad like everything had seemed. And I'm sure if you're a Browns fan right now, the only thing you're thinking is like, yeah, that sucked. Like I was hoping we can go farther, but like Nick Chubb was hurt this season. Like you almost think to yourself like, wow, we actually even fucking made it this far. Like it seemed like their season had ended like, in week 10.
Yeah.
So, and of course, like, there's a bunch of guys that they're going to have to keep, that they're going to have to pay just because of how good their defense was. Actually, I didn't even realize this, but if you go back and look at the games where they gave up more than like 24 points, it was on the road.
Yeah, I mean they were 3-5 on the road. They lost all of the losses outside of one game in away games.
Yeah. So that they weren't very good on the road, but like there were games, they beat the 49ers, they beat the Ravens, where it seemed like, okay, this team is actually like good enough, like their defense can carry them into like a deep playoff run. Like maybe if Joe Flacco can have the run that he had in 2012, like maybe we're getting somewhere with this. But I don't know. I mean, I wish I knew a Browns fan to see what they think. I'm sure the only thing they're thinking right now is, hey, next season, we're gonna have Nick Chubb, Myles Garrett's not gonna be hurt. You got to re-sign. I think it's Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah.
Yeah, I loved him coming out of the draft.
He's
oh
good.
My god, he is so
really
good out of Notre Dame. That kid's so good.
And,
what do they do
Greg
with
Newsome.
Flacco?
I mean, let me ask you this: if you're a Browns fan, who would you rather have, Deshaun Watson or Joe Flacco?
Baker Mayfield.
Oh yeah, and we'll definitely get into that, but like that ship has already kind of sailed. But
obviously, I mean, really, I don't know, because at first, I mean, up through midway in the second quarter, this game looked like it was going to be a back and forth shootout.
Yeah, it was like 14-7, wasn't it?
It was 14-10.
Oh yeah.
The Browns had scored early in the second quarter to go up 14-10, and then
because
another deep ball touchdown from CJ Stroud, and that really blew it open. I mean,
yeah. And then also the pick sixes.
The two pick sixes don't help.
They had an 82-yard pick six.
Steven
Like
Nelson.
the Texans defense is just really good, but the Browns, like, you're still kind of hopeful for the future. Like, you hope you can continue the success. I think, like, Kevin Stefanski has done like a better job. I mean, a lot of the success has come from Jim Schwartz this season with how good that defense has been at home against like really like your Super Bowl favorites right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, hang the banner. You fucking beat the two teams that are favored to go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, no, I mean, getting back to the whole Flacco thing, him a year older.
Yeah, but I mean,
he
looked
looked
good.
great. He looked great at points this season, but then you start to get, he's a year older. Look how he fell apart after the 10th game, something like that.
You also get your two tackles back because they were missing both of their tackles. Riddick Willis had season-ending surgery,
and then you get Nick Chubb back. You have a healthy offseason for your defense, and I mean, I would argue, and I think most people would, Joe Flacco is the better quarterback for this team.
He's also thrown as many touchdowns as Deshaun Watson this season, and he only played 4 games. Like 4 or 5 games. Yeah. He has as many touchdown passes as Deshaun Watson does in his entire career with the Browns. Like, and that's just in a 5-game span. So, like, it's that you owe so much money to Deshaun Watson. Like, that's probably what they're going to do is they're going to stick with him. But
they have to.
Yeah, I mean, at this point.
Do you ever see Deshaun Watson coming back and being what he was in Houston?
I don't know. I don't think so.
I don't even know that he could stay healthy a whole season.
Yeah. Like, he can't stay healthy. He's already a terrible person. Like everybody, I mean, he's been deemed as like one of the worst people in the NFL. Like he doesn't even look happy being there. I mean, you saw the photo on the people were showing of him giving CJ Stroud the eye. Yeah. Like he's pissed about what's happened.
He's also not good. Like
not anymore. No.
Yeah.
Like the downfall. I mean, when you can't stay healthy, when you can't be on the field, like, listen, your best availability is available. Like your best ability is availability, and like his best ability is just getting a nice massage.
Yeah. I don't know, but the Browns have, as always at this point, just a monstrous looking offseason ahead of them. In terms of, do they tear it down? Do they move on? Do they keep pushing forward? Like, what are they going to do? But I don't know. But moving on to Houston, dude, they look like they're going to be a rising. I mean, they already are, but they look like they could be the king of the AFC in a couple of years.
Will Anderson Jr. is playing phenomenal. Derek Stingley, stud.
Jalen Petre's been balling out.
Yeah, like all of their team, they've got a franchise left tackle. Devin Singletary's been good. I mean, even without Tank Dell, Nico Collins, he's playing awesome.
And John Mechie played well.
Yeah,
he's done a whole lot, but he's played well.
Yeah, I think with more reps, he'll get better. Yeah, you beat the cancer, so now you go out on the field and you produce now. But CJ Stroud, eye test, looks really fucking good.
Not even eye test, dude. He just is.
Well, yeah, I know. You look at the box score. You can look at his stats. I mean, his stats are unbelievable for a rookie. I mean, what he had. Yeah, he had 41. Yeah, he had 4,108 yards, 23 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions. He was 319 of 499, so his completion percentage is really good. But I mean, if you're actually watching the games and you're watching CJ Stroud, like he's picked it up real quick. Like he's a fucking baller. He's really good. Fuck the test, whatever test that he, stunk at, like he's just really good at football.
Do you think, and this might be a question best posed for later, but so obviously the big thing going around is Aaron Rodgers and Jordan Love and CJ Stroud, what they did in their playoff debuts. Technically, obviously he's not a rookie, but this is Jordan Love's first year starting. This is his rookie year as a starter, right? He's got that sophomore year coming, and so does CJ Stroud. Out of those two, who do you think the sophomore slump hits hardest, if at all?
I don't think either. We'll get into Jordan Love here in a little bit, but to answer your question, I don't think either of them have a sophomore slump, especially with like how young their team is. Like the team's
Yeah.
only probably going to get better, but like if you made me choose, if you like made me choose, obviously I'm going to say Jordan Love because I hope it happens, but I don't think it will. But let's talk about CJ Stroud. We'll talk about Jordan Love here in a little bit. You're getting ahead of yourself.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
We'll talk about the Texans real quick because they're in a spot where like that play against Indianapolis last year, the Lovie Smith Davis Mills, like if you're a Texas fan, you just had to suffer that one, couple bad seasons, really.
The Texans ought to frame that play and put it in their Hall of Fame.
Yeah, no, they absolutely should
or Ring of Honor.
Give Davis Mills a key to the city of Houston and also Chicago, just for that play. And you can do the same thing with Lovie Smith. But I mean, like you basically that's all you had to suffer because you get C.J. Stroud, Will Anderson, you got Derek Stingley, Jalen Petrie, another good. I mean, you're not really missing a whole lot. I mean, maybe you could use. You don't really need a running back when CJ Stroud is that good. Like it'd be nice to lighten the load, I guess, like to have a dynamic running back. But Singletary's been fine, and they still got Damian Pierce.
Yeah. Also,
maybe just like a linebacker. Just get like a run stopping linebacker.
A couple off-ball linebackers. I think that would really shore up their. But also, all the picks they got from Cleveland, and they just beat Cleveland to get themselves a little bit better pick. They are going to be loaded going into the next couple drafts.
Well, yeah, that's. I mean, we're looking at this like the Texans went through hell, the past couple of seasons. Like they just, lost their what they thought was going to be their franchise quarterback. They didn't know what they were going to do. They go and get C.J. Stroud. They got a bunch of young, really good talent just all over the place, and they go and they win the division. We were almost certain that was the Jaguars' division for like a long time to come.
Yeah.
I mean, like if you're an average football watcher, you're looking at the Jaguars and what they've been able to do with Trevor Lawrence and Doug Peterson, and you're like, all right, like who's going to step up?
Not even average. Like if you're like everyone thought the Jags were going to win the division.
Yeah, that's true. And now, like we don't even know what the Colts have. Like the Colts, Anthony Richardson, Shane Steichen, that could be another combo. Like this division's wide open. Yeah. And now, like, I mean, you're at your highest point right now if you're a Texans fan because, like, your quarterback is it. The Colts, you got to wait a little bit to find out. Jags fans are suffering.
Yeah.
So, like, okay, C.J. Stroud looks really good and he can stay healthy, which Trevor Lawrence had been healthy for most of his, tenure, like in college and in the NFL. But now he's finally hurt and you see how it kind of panned out with all those injuries. Like, didn't look good. But yeah, I mean, I'm happy for the Texans.
They're only going to get so much better, dude.
And when we say that, I mean, I'm not going to get ahead of myself just because I know the NFL is just fucking weird like that, where a team is, like looks like they're going to be contending for a long time. And I think the Texans will. I think D'Amico Ryans is a hell of a coach. He's done a phenomenal job. But coaching matters.
Yeah, it does.
Look at what Slovic has been able to do with the Texans offense.
Yeah.
That's what we just need. That's what the Bears need. They've interviewed Greg Roman. Go get a guy from the Shanahan coaching tree.
Not fucking literally though.
Literally go get a guy from the Shanahan. Look what it's done for the Packers. Look what it's done for
the Rams.
Not even the Rams, but I mean, yeah, the Rams, the Packers, the Mike McDaniel with Miami, which we'll get into that, but still, like, yeah, I mean, listen. Coaching matters in the NFL, 100%. Which obviously it matters, but I think it's kind of stood the test of time, obviously, but now it's kind of been brought into light,
Yeah. It's because football is the ultimate team game. It's why coaching matters. Because in the NBA, you can have a star player or two. In baseball, if you got a dominant couple pitchers or like a great like bullpen or even just a badass batting order, like you can get past bad coaching.
Yeah.
But in football, like you have to have a good coaching
you have
staff
to have
to have good coaches.
Like in baseball, like if you spend a lot of money, like obviously, it's a little different with Bruce Bochy, like him winning 4 World Series. Like you're gonna have a couple of managers that are just like outright Hall of Famers. best of the best with, but with football, it's like you said, ultimate team game. Like you got to have like the right coaches that like preach and teach physicality and
Yeah,
like doing your job. And so credit D'Amico Ryans and his staff. Like the Texans, they look for real.
they do. They do.
And
Moving on.
they got a tough
Sorry.
test coming up.
They do. I can't fucking wait for next weekend. Moving on. Dolphins at Chiefs in the Ice Bowl 2024. Man, Dolphins are not good in bad weather, and they're not good against good teams.
No. Well, this was the further proving the point of Tua versus the cold.
Yeah.
They it was funny to like watch the game and then just like every single time like a player would breathe, you just see the smoke. It was the ultimate meme of the "we get it, you vape, bro." But like, yeah, it looked miserable out there, and tackling looked awful. Like every time I'd watch somebody get tackled, it hurt me. I wasn't even
Well,
out there.
just look at fucking Mahomes' helmet, dude.
Yeah, I don't even know how he continued to play through that. Like my helmet wouldn't crack. I would avoid
yeah.
I would have avoided contact. I would
Did-
not have been hit.
So, I want to talk about the Chiefs first. Are you still as worried as you were about the receivers coming into the playoffs as you are now?
It's not. I don't think it was ever the receivers from me. Like I said, Matt Nagy.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Matt Nagy was like the sole issue, and like I get it. He may not be like the play caller, but he's still the offensive coordinator. Like he does get like kind of a say. I think Andy Reid's kind of gotten to the point where he's like, I want to just be a head coach. I'm gonna pass the reins over. That's what he did with. Yeah, that's what he did with Bellamy. But Bellamy was just a really smart play caller, and like he still used Andy Reid's playbook. But like yeah, the Dolphins they just don't play well in the cold. And like it was basically just like bubble screen to like I need you to complete this 5-yard pass. Please don't let it go over Tyreek Hill's head. Like he just does not play well in the cold.
Yeah.
They're not like a very good team, and they're about to be in cap hell because of what they paid Bradley Chubb. They're probably going to keep Tua. I mean, he brought them to the playoffs. Like he was the quarterback of the team when like they were in the playoffs. So like they've got the pieces, but they're just not a very like physical team. It doesn't seem like. And when they played against the Raiders, they were like at the earlier in the season in that close game. I thought, okay, like this looks like a Vic Fangio defense. Like it's finally coming together, and like it's looking good. But like then they get and they go up against the Cowboys, and it's like okay, maybe this team is a little bit better, but. No, the Dolphins have been frauds all season, and they've had an ultimate meltdown because the division was theirs. Yeah, the division was theirs, and they let the Bills have it. And this game was basically perfectly set up for the Chiefs to win the game, and they did. The Chiefs they dominated. Their defense still looks really good. Again, it was against the Dolphins in the cold weather, so we'll see how they fare against Josh Allen next week. But there's going to be some serious conversations about the Dolphins coming up. It's like candy ass uniforms, candy ass colors, don't really fare well in the cold weather. And that proved to be true.
Yeah. Does this now we had talked about it. The Chiefs are one of those teams that can get hot. And they got the experience, they've got the coaching.
They got Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid.
They got Patrick Mahomes. And their defense is pretty good. They can turn it on when necessary. How far do you see them going?
It's Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. Like they could make the Super Bowl. Like it's not out of question. Like for the Chiefs, like they're basically in a spot now, like as a franchise that like the real test is like the AFC Championship. Like they're
at that Brady Belichick level.
Yeah, exactly. They're at that level now where like when they get to the AFC Championship, then it's like okay, now this is the real playoffs for us. They get sweep by the wild card in the divisional round because of they basically have like the new Brady Belichick.
Yeah.
And Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. And Mahomes played good. The receivers look better. It was a matter of time before Rashee Rice like finally
on the
established
scene.
himself. Because like
Yeah.
Chiefs fans were saying, like, hey, just wait, like we're seeing something with Rashee Rice, and it kind of happened. Richie
Yeah.
James got to play a little bit. It was kind of sad to see like Travis Kelce look old, drop some
Yeah.
passes. He had a couple of catches that were behind the line of scrimmage that he like got yards when he probably shouldn't have. But yeah, I mean he looks old. Wouldn't surprise me if he retired.
There is a retirement we'll talk about here in a little bit, but no, and I completely agree. I mean, it's the fucking Chiefs. Now, I think it's got more to do with how the teams they play against show up than it is how they play going forward. But then again, they could just decide to score 50 if they wanted to. So, but I do also agree with you on the Dolphins. They have a lot of questions to answer this offseason.
Yeah, they do. Which is like they're gonna it'll be the same thing as last year where like I do like Tua. Like I like Tua when he's like playing well because like the offense, like whenever he's playing well and he's getting the ball like to Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle and his receivers, like the offense is fun to watch. But like not being able to play in the cold weather, that's what January football is. Like if you're gonna survive in the playoffs, you have to win your division. You have to get those home games or else you're gonna have to go on the road. And I mean, that's not like a recipe for success.
You can't be
all
a
the
fair
time.
weather team.
Yeah. Like the only teams that can really do that are like the Brady, Belichick, Patriots, and then the Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, Chiefs. And the questions were asked like how are the Chiefs going to fare, on the road? Like, can they win a road playoff game? Like, I don't think we talk enough about like say what you want, but like in my opinion, like that just speaks about how fucking good they are, like as a coach and quarterback, being able to always get those home playoff games.
Yeah.
Like that's how fucking successful they've been.
I mean,
like
that
they wouldn't
was
even had to.
biggest issue going back, looking at like the Aaron Rodgers era, and something that he had always talked about is Green Bay, outside of the loss to Tampa Bay, never played an NFC Championship game at home. They were always on the road.
Yeah.
They were always having to fight their way, traveling every weekend on the road, not sleeping in their own bed. And you can think what you want, but that shit at the end of the day matters, man.
Yeah.
Like traveling for vacation is stressful and tiring as fuck. I can only imagine traveling to go get hit by a fucking truck for 3 hours every fucking weekend. You know what I mean? And especially at this point in the season when you've done it 20 times and everyone's beat to shit, then it becomes even more difficult. So I do think we'll understand a whole lot more about the legacy. It's weird to say this, but we'll understand a whole lot more about the legacy of Mahomes and Reed this weekend.
Yeah.
If they can go in and beat Buffalo, dude, like they're already the next Brady Belichick, but like that will.
Let's say they beat him and the Bills play like a really fucking good game.
Like
Let's
if
say
it's
like
another one of those super close games.
Yeah, like a super close game. They play absolutely awesome, and the Chiefs go out there and they beat them. Who's to say they can't beat the Ravens or, like another team?
No, I mean, if
who do they play the Tech. Okay, let's say the Chiefs beat the Bills, and like the Bills look really good when if the Chiefs beat them and the Bills look good. Who's to say they can't beat the Texans or the Ravens?
Yeah,
I'm not going to count them out. Like,
who's to say they can't beat them now?
Yeah,
that's where
we'll find out.
We will. You got anything else on that game though?
No, not really. I mean, it was just so like crazy, like to watch everything unfold in that game. Like,
yeah,
Tua looked so bad. The offense in general looked so bad. But you know what? The Chiefs, they have a couple of questions too, because it's not like they've been just great all season like they normally are.
Yeah.
Like their tackles are a problem. Like their interior offensive line is really good. Obviously, they're going to pay Creed Humphrey, like he's sensational, but like they got a lot of other things they need to answer. Like, are they going to keep Chris Jones? Like Willie Gay, he's probably going to retire after this season. He's been in the NFL forever. And then, well, you've got your DBs, like L'Jarius Sneed is really fucking awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But Yeah, and what's his name? Kelsey's probably going to retire, but you still have Blake Bell and Noah Gray. So
Yeah.
like maybe you could just ride with them and get them more snaps. But like there are still questions to answer for the Chiefs, and it's like I like that you bring that up. Like we're going to find out just how like dominant or just we're going to find out the legacy of this team based on how they perform in Buffalo with not as good of a team as they've always had.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. But moving on. Holy fucking shit, dude. The Green Bay Packers went into their second home, aka Lambeau South, AT&T Stadium. And although they won only by 16, they opened up a can of whoop ass.
Yeah, it
on
wasn't
goddamn
even
Dallas
really close,
Cowboys.
dude.
It was not.
Like it was like 48-16, and everybody knew it was over.
Yeah, it was. And look, I said this last week. And the key thing about this team that has been different from these past Packers teams, and you may remember me saying this, when they get punched in the mouth or they fuck something up and they get down, especially last year, 2022, 23 Packers could not rebound. 2021, 2022 Packers, they were good enough and talented enough they could get there, but it was a struggle when they had to fight back. On the first drive, man, they get a first down and then they get put behind the sticks, 3rd and long. Love just finds Dobbs, and Dobbs was getting open, bro. Like there were so many catches where he had 8, 9, 10 yards of separation, like no one even close to him. And dude, it was just
Yeah, he finished with 6 receptions, 151 yards, and a touchdown.
Can we talk about that touchdown pass to him real quick? Where Jordan's rolling out and just turns and just perfect, bro. On 4th and 2, right by the goal line. Oh my God, everything is just. Aaron Jones might be the best running back in the NFL right now, the way he's playing. Like he's been on fire and electric. And I tweeted this out. I'm gonna say it on here. I don't know what has to happen, but the Green Bay Packers need to have a collab with the U.S. Treasury because they need to find out how much money it's going to take for them to keep Aaron Jones in Green Bay. He's under contract for one more season, and I always thought this was his last year, just based off the Packers' history. But the leader he's been, and as good as he's been playing, there's no way they can move on from him, right?
Is that a rhetorical question, or are you actually asking?
No, like I'm actually asking. Like I, as an NFL owner, and take bias completely out of the equation, if Aaron Jones is on your team, well, yes, you have to pay him a lot of money, but Green Bay is going to have to offload David Bakhtiari and definitely Preston Smith, even though he's playing really well, and figure out some things to do money-wise. But, I mean, would you get rid of Aaron Jones?
We only have $5 million in cap space, like a little bit over $5 million in cap space.
Yeah, but if they offload David Bakhtiari, that's $21 million freed up right there. And
but that's going to be dead. That's going to be dead money next season. So, yeah, it would.
No. If they get rid of him after the June 1st cut period, it's only like $6-7 million in dead money.
I thought he was in contract.
He is, but if they get rid of him after then, whether it's a trade, if it's a post June 1st trade, then they get to a post June 1 trade or cut. I believe. There's a lower cap hit. There's a lower dead cap hit. So, same with Preston Smith. So there's a way that they could feasibly hang on to Aaron Jones. Plus, the salary cap's fake. Come on now. Every team can figure it the fuck out. They're also going to have to pay Jordan Love lots of money. Yeah. So, I don't know. What are your thoughts on the game, though? I'm just going to sit here and fucking drool the whole time. So I don't want to take up too much time doing that because no one wants to see that, especially you.
No. I figured this is what you're going to do. So you talk as much as you want, and then I'll get into my, what I thought.
Okay. Defense looked fantastic. And I was scared that was going to happen. Depending on what happens next week, I don't know that Green Bay gets rid of Joe Barry, but it is what it is. The pressure was great. The young guys stepped up. Quay Walker played well. They tackled well in space. Darnell Savage with the pick six. I don't think he's ever made an outstanding play in his fucking NFL career. Jair Alexander with the pick to start it off. They just did everything right. They look like the perfect team, and the Packers are getting hot at the best time right now, and they got an opportunity this will be the last thing I say because Jordan Love's fantastic. Actually, two more things. Green Bay is so loaded at receiver, even with all these young guys, that it doesn't matter who they throw the ball to at this point. Dontavian Wicks has been amazing. Romeo Dobbs has been great. Christian Watson showed greatness. Jaden Reed's fucking amazing. Malik Heath has played well. Tight end Luke Musgrave and Tucker Kraft have been amazing. And then obviously Aaron Jones is fantastic. Jordan Love has the most confidence I think I've ever seen a quarterback play with. But the last thing I'll say is, in 2020, the Packers are beat by the Niners and bumped out of the playoffs, or by the Buccaneers and bumped out of the playoffs in the NFC Championship game. In 2021, when San Francisco 49ers came into Lambeau and beat us on our own field and knocked us out of the playoffs. And in 2022, Aaron Rodgers' last game as a Packer, the opportunity to go at least make the playoffs, the Detroit Lions bump Green Bay out of the playoffs. Green Bay makes it a Super Bowl, they're going to have to avenge two bad defeats. And
now,
I can't fucking wait.
Are you at a point now where like you are riding so high that you think the team will make the Super Bowl or could make the Super Bowl?
I think they can. They play like that. They can. I just don't know with such a young team how many of those games you can feasibly have.
Right. Do you think it was like maybe the Cowboys just like aren't that good of a team?
I think two things can be true. I think that was the best game Green Bay had played all season, and they have the potential to beat anybody. And the Dallas Cowboys are not as good as everyone thought they were.
Okay. So you've gone on your spiel. I'm happy for you though. I'm happy that you like get to be happy and that like your future in your sports teams is looking really bright. I don't know with the Bears, like it's probably just going to be another disaster. So you get to beat on that. Oklahoma, that's the only thing that you and I have really, because we don't know. Like, I mean, the Packers are set to be like a really fucking good team. Like, here's kind of where I'm at with it right now. Jordan Love looks really fucking good. He looked so good, and like watching it, I had to watch with like the Homelander face, like the Homelander meme. That's how I was watching the game. Like, this can't be happening right now. And Matt LaFleur did like such a phenomenal job. Who's the coordinator? Sinovich?
Yeah, Sinovich.
Yeah, so Sinovich, he's done a phenomenal job.
He was our offensive line coach too.
Yeah, now he's the offensive coordinator.
Steno, yeah.
And he's done a good job with the squad and in the later half of the season. Like they do a really good job of like scheming guys open. Like was it Musgrave that was wide open? Yeah, that was an incredible tight end leak. I mean, like he went in between basically.
They did it on a screen as well.
Yeah, like it was crazy to watch. But yeah, Jordan Love, he looks really fucking good, and I'm hoping like that it's just one Super Bowl, kind of like how it was with Rodgers and Favre. So that's all I'm hoping for, because I think that's what it's gonna be. Is like they're gonna get a Super Bowl out of Love, and I'm hoping it's just one, and then they pay him a fuck ton of money. And then, like, they can't afford to keep any good players.
So and it's just the Aaron Rodgers situation all over again?
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping it is. But I don't know. Love already looks better than Aaron Rodgers did. Like, it's crazy like how fucking good he is. And Matt LaFleur's, like, an awesome coach. Dallas, yeah, I feel bad for I don't feel bad for Cowboys fans, but like I'm glad I'm not a Cowboys fan.
Yeah, because I do feel bad. My stepmom and her family is all Cowboys fans, and so
I don't know if I feel bad for Cowboys fans. I live with the Cowboys fans.
I feel bad for them, but the rest of the Cowboys fans can suck my ass. So
yeah. Oh yeah, and isn't this the third time you've won a postseason game in AT&T Stadium?
No, Green Bay's 6-0 now in the playoffs in AT&T Stadium.
I don't think they're 6-0. I think they've like.
Or no, they're 6-0 just in AT&T Stadium.
Yeah, but they've won 3 postseason games.
You're right. You're right.
They
Super
won
Bowl
the Super
45.
Bowl. Yeah.
Okay.
and then they had the 2 playoff wins.
Okay, yeah, sorry, I
So,
was confusing it, but
yeah.
yes, you are right.
Yeah, the Super Bowl, Dez caught it, and then Dak's rookie year. Yeah, so it was 3 postseason
Hey,
wins.
you didn't catch it.
Well, like that's what we know it for.
That's fair.
Like that's what we know it. Like the 2014 playoffs.
Yeah.
It actually is funny. Like I want to get into this. Dallas every year. I mean, this is just how it works for the Cowboys. It's no, this team is different. Like this is our year. Look what we did to the Giants. You know,
Yeah.
like it's all the
Who?
same. And
Yeah.
then they have to go up against Green Bay, and Green Bay is just their kryptonite. It's kind of like Chicago, but I think it's worse for Dallas.
Yeah, because Dallas
like,
has hope.
Yeah, Dallas has hope. Chicago's like, well, we get to play them twice a year. Like, we're gonna beat them at least once. Like, hopefully in the near future.
Did you see? I thought this was hilarious. Before the 2020 draft, when Green Bay took Jordan Love, did you see Des Bryant's tweet? It's been coming back on social media, but Des Bryant tweeted in like early 2020. He was like, whoever drafts this Jordan Love kid is going to get a fucking stud. He's going to be really good. And then
I guess he was the only one because everybody else thought that was just like
I broke a TV.
Crazy. Yeah, because it was like, what are you doing? It was just basically just an insurance check, is what it was. Like,
and it fucking cashed.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. Like, I don't know how the Packers do, but that's just good organizations do that though. Good organizations, they can draft a quarterback and let him sit behind a franchise quarterback, let him learn, and then develop him. And that's just what the Packers have just done so well. Like, if there's one thing that you can be happy for, like for the rest of your life, is knowing that like you're gonna have a Hall of Fame quarterback and possibly a Super Bowl.
Yeah, no, for sure. Real quick, I'm gonna be right back. You can keep talking, or I'll just cut this. Give me 2 seconds, okay?
Okay.
All right.
No, I'll keep talking.
Okay.
We'll talk about the history of the Cowboys real quick, ladies and gentlemen. So, Cowboys. I don't even know where to begin. 1995 was in 96 when they won their last Super Bowl. They haven't won a playoff game since. Yeah, it's kind of sad. You're a poverty franchise. At least you can win 12 games a year. But just think about the fact that the Bears have won a playoff game more recently than the Cowboys have. Yeah, 2011 NFC Championship. Jay Cutler doesn't tear his ACL. We go to the Super Bowl and we beat the Steelers. But, if I had wheels, I'd be a wagon. But yeah, I don't know what else to talk about. I gotta wait for Dalton to get back. I fucking hate the Packers so much. I'm so sad that they get another Hall of Fame franchise quarterback, and we're stuck trying to figure out if Justin Fields is the guy, and we don't know what to do with the number 1 pick. I don't know. Take Caleb Williams. Just draft him. Start over. Rookie contract. Maybe he's the guy. Who knows? But I do think it's funny that like they keep bringing up like all of the shit that's happened in like against the Packers in the postseason. Like the Dez caught it was like the first one. There was so many rumors about it, but like you shouldn't have even been in that position in the first place. Like that pass interference, that no call pass interference against the Lions in 2014 should have sent the Lions to play the Packers in the playoffs, but whatever. But yeah, just think about that for a second, Cowboys fans. The Bears have won a playoff game more recently than you have. And the Lions.
My shirt came in.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
You can go throw up now if you want.
No, it's okay. I'm not going to throw up. He played good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
He did. That one touchdown pass that he threw, angle, blitz is coming. I think it was his third one.
To Dontavian Wicks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was crazy. I can only dream of a fucking Bears quarterback doing that. Justin Fields has had a couple of those, but
that one to DJ Moore, second last week of the season. It's pretty nasty.
Yeah. But if you're the Packers, it doesn't matter. Like you don't have to hope for a high draft pick anymore. Like that's what we were thinking at the beginning of the season. It was like, dude, Jordan Love stinks. Like this team is not very good. Like it's gonna take him a while to even settle in if he even is the guy. Now it's like, who cares? Like we've got the guy. We just replace him with the left tackle, and we can probably get any left tackle in the draft. It doesn't matter who it is. It could be a guy that wasn't that good in college. We'll just develop him. That's what we do. We're the fucking good organization.
Fucking Packers.
It just stinks. But yeah, now there's a lot of questions on the line. Like, what did Jerry Jones say? Jerry Jones is like, what do we think about like Mike McCarthy and like, where are you with him as like the head coach of the team? And he's like, well, we're gonna take it game by game in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, you're taking it game by game in the playoffs. Does that mean like if he loses in the NFC Championship that you fire him?
Yeah.
Because nothing went wrong. Like as far as like Dak didn't get hurt, CeeDee Lamb didn't get hurt.
Yeah.
Like
organizationally they were fine.
Yeah.
Like no big bad thing happened. So
yeah. And now like you can't walk away from that. Like Cowboys fans are revolting right now. They're like, hey, we haven't won a fucking playoff game in like
almost as long as the Lions.
I take that back. They have won a playoff game.
Oh, they did. Didn't they win last year?
Yeah. I look really fucking stupid right now because when you left, I said that the Bears won a playoff game more recently than the Cowboys, but I was thinking like Super Bowl.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I was thinking like the Bears have made a Super Bowl more recently, and that was in 2006, 2007.
I'll put that. I'll edit it. But anyway,
no, you don't have to. You can keep it in to show how fucking stupid I am and how brain dead. I'm tired of shit. But like that, Bill Belichick's out there, Mike Vrabel's out there. Like, there's probably going to be a few calls.
Mike Tomlin might be out there.
Yeah. Ooh. Yeah,
we'll get into that. But you got anything else on this game?
No, man. Good job.
Thank you.
You won a playoff game in a rebuilding year.
We're gonna lose this weekend. So, but moving on. Rams, Lions. Lions won their first playoff game since 1992.
Yeah.
And they did it being their former father, Matt Stafford.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. My buddy Arnold, the diehard Lions fan, I'm really happy for him. And I'm happy that, he had to suffer through the pain and like he finally won a playoff game. He called me. I texted him. I was like, hey, I'm happy for you. But he called me and he was like, I can't believe that just happened. And I was like, dude, like, you should have texted me and said we won a playoff game because the last time the Lions won a playoff game, texting wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
There was no such thing as text messages. So like I'm happy for Lions fans. I'm very happy for them. Like
I am too.
You went through shit. You had Matthew Stafford, like the best quarterback you've ever had in your franchise. You get screwed over in 2014 when you probably should have won that playoff game. He gave you everything that you had, and I don't disagree. Like the fans, they booed Stafford like whenever he ran out from the tunnel. I don't necessarily hate that move.
No, I don't either.
It wasn't like a we hate you kind of boo. It was just
you're the enemy.
Yeah, you're the enemy. Like you're in the way of what we're trying to accomplish this season.
Now, the middle fingers, a bit aggressive.
I think he was I think they were throwing the middle fingers at his kids because like his kids, hey, look at you can't hate me and my adorable family. And they were like, no, fuck you.
The fuck I can. This is Detroit.
Yeah. Yeah.
We even hated Eminem.
He's going to have a whole album now.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like, if you're the Lions, like you should cherish this moment. Yeah. You should. Because Dan Campbell, like, there were a lot of questions after that last season. Like, they started off 1-6, they barely missed the playoffs, and it was like, well, how come they're only good at the end of the season? Are we going to have this same kind of run? Well, they're 12-5. They just beat a really good Rams team, a Sean McVay, Matthew Stafford led Rams team, and now they're on their way to the divisional round. It's another home playoff game, I think, for them, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's another home playoff game. They looked really good on offense to start. And then they basically just said, okay, now we need to rely on the defense to just kind of take it over. Like they could win either way, I guess.
Yeah, I mean,
I watched the majority of the game. I didn't really know what to think because it almost seemed like for a second the Rams were going to come back and win. But then that first, like when they needed a first down, Dan Campbell, nuts on the table, just
that missile route to Amon-Ra was pretty nasty, man.
Yeah.
And then seeing Jared Goff just after taking the knee was pretty badass, man.
Yeah. And then the fans, they were berating the truck that he was in.
Yeah.
They were berating his truck and saying that you're the new king of Detroit. Like, you are the guy. We love you. We're going to build a statue for you. You just need to win us a Super Bowl.
You see where Dan Campbell was like, "Hey, you're good enough for Detroit."
Yeah.
Like they seem like such like what's the best word? Yeah, like chemistry wise, they seem like the closest team. They seem like those 15, 16, 17 Packers teams before Bob left. Yeah. It really is. It is crazy though that you mentioned the Lions almost seemed like they were selling towards the end, right? They just couldn't do anything offensively. Defense was still playing well, but the Rams were mounting that comeback. Stafford got the fuck kicked out of him, as he always does. He's a fucking gamer, dude.
I wonder how the concussion protocol set for that game because, like, I don't know.
Well, it's Matthew fucking Stafford. He dislocated his shoulder back in Detroit and came back in and threw a game-winning touchdown.
Yeah, I know, but concussions are a little bit different. Like some would say that his the concussion protocol that they had set for that game would have cleared JFK to come back, but like
Abraham Lincoln, hit. Maybe.
Yeah, he got hit, and his eyes rolled to the back of his head. I thought, yeah, it's over. The Lions they won this game. He went back out there, and I mean, he still had a good game.
Yeah,
he had over 300 yards and 2 touchdowns. Like
statistically, the Rams outplayed the Lions.
Yeah.
Numbers wise. Like if you didn't look at the score and you looked at the numbers, you looked at this game on paper, again, without looking at the scores, like, I mean, the Lions committed more penalties for less yardage, by the way, but more penalties. You know, they had one more sack. They had less passing yards. They had less rushing yards. They had one more first down. It's just like they were both 3 of 9 and 1 for 1 on 3rd and 4th downs. It's just when it mattered the most, the Lions got it.
Yeah, well, they wanted him more. But I guess Puka Nacua has cemented himself as the best rookie wide receiver of all time.
He might be the best wide receiver of all time. Like, he's so fucking good, bro. And he gets fucking smacked.
See, that's the thing that I noticed, like in this game, like he was getting smacked around, like they were pushing him. It was like OU versus Texas, like with just getting all up in, you know, like OU players were just like hammering them down. Like that's what was happening to Puka and Stafford. Like they were just getting hammered, and like that's the culture that they've set for the playoffs. And you know, I wish I can. If I called Arnold right now, he wouldn't answer. I think he's just now getting off of work, but I don't want to disturb him now. But I know he's really excited about the game to come because he knows who he's going to have to play, and you know he's also a big OU fan. So like he's happy for what Baker was able to do, but. If you're a Lions fan, like again, like it doesn't matter. Like it doesn't matter if you like Baker or not. In his mind, he's the enemy. So, you know, they're shooting for a Super Bowl. This is the year that they feel like they have to do it. And having a Liam McNeil back was really good for that run game.
Yeah, he stonewalled the front, man.
Yeah. And there's going to be some questions about their defense, especially if they get carved up, like against Tampa Bay.
Yeah,
it reminds me a lot of the Colts team. Remember the Colts team that beat the Bears in the Super Bowl?
Mm-hmm.
That defense was not very good, like throughout the season, and they didn't really pick it up until the divisional round.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I don't know, you've got the offense for it.
Yeah.
And David Montgomery looked really solid. Like I know he didn't get a whole lot of yards, but like on the carries that he did, he looked solid. He looked really good running the ball. He looked speedy and explosive. Like he only finished with 60 yards, but
Jahmyr Gibbs was making motherfuckers miss too.
Yeah, he was.
He's so good, dude. But getting back to your point, you know, everyone kind of says, you know, baseball, it's streaky. Basketball, there's streaks and hot points within games even. And teams get on win streaks and stuff like that, or even losing streaks. But football is one of the most momentum and streaky-based games. Like, especially at this point in the season. Like you look at
guys are injured.
Yes. But you find a team that can fight through that and a team that gets hot at the right time, they're untouchable. Yeah. I mean, just look at like the 2012 Ravens or the 2010 Packers or who else has won it that no one would have thought. Look at the Bengals that made their first Super Bowl.
Yeah. Yeah, that
Like
Bengals team.
they limped into the playoffs essentially. I mean, they were playing hot towards the end of the season, but record-wise, they limped into the playoffs. And then the Raiders threw their best shot at them, couldn't do anything. The Chiefs, they went into fucking Arrowhead and just beat the shit out of the Chiefs.
Twice that year.
Yeah,
Twice that
that's
year.
how they
And
got
when
in
it
the
mattered most
playoffs.
in the AFC Championship.
Yeah, dude. And I forget who else they beat in the playoffs. It's not like it fucking mattered. I mean, they just cakewalked through everybody. I mean, the Chiefs game was close, but they dominated. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And they really could have won that Super Bowl if their offensive line was worth a shit. But like the NFL, college is different because college there's a clear separation point most years. This year less so than most, but most years is like there's one, two, maybe three really good teams, and the rest are like, oh, we hope we can get close.
Yeah, like Georgia,
But in the
Bama.
NFL, yeah, but in the NFL, you get 14 teams in the playoffs. Once you get through the wild card round, is kind of where you chop off those loose ends. The divisional round, all 8 of those teams can win a fucking Super Bowl.
Yeah, and it seems like it this year. I mean, the wild card weekend we had, they're basically like it wasn't even close except for this game. This
Yeah,
is the only game, like to watch till the very end.
yeah. And I mean, I don't know, dude. It really excites me. Obviously, I'm happy because the Packers are there, right? But this time of year is so fucking fun for
And it's
playoffs.
also like very devastating because the
The
season's about to
season's
end.
over. Yeah, yeah.
You gotta wait eight
That's tough.
months.
That is tough. But just gonna go pregnant. It'll fly by.
Yeah, yeah.
And
But
then
I'm
you
happy
get
for
and
Lions
then you get
fans.
maternity leave.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Anyways, I am also happy for Lions fans. I've said it multiple times, and I said it after last season ended. And it's partially because they beat us, but I was like, the Lions are gonna be fucking good next year.
Mm.
And
Now,
I
what if it was Packers Lions NFC Championship? Would you be nervous? Because like the Packers, like
I'm
they're playing
shitting
hot.
bricks now, dude.
But if you beat the 49ers, it's like you're almost clear to make the Super Bowl, right? Because all you have to do is play either the Lions or the Bucks.
Very terrified of both those teams. I love Baker, but I'd probably rather the Bucks. But then again, the Packers play better against teams they know.
That's true.
So I don't know if I'd rather the Bucks or if I'd rather the
You would have a
Lions.
Joe Barry defense who has gotten better the past couple of games go up against like if you beat the 49ers, it's like, oh, this team is fucking good. Like hell yeah. But then you realize, fuck, I
Depends
gotta
on how
go.
we beat the 49ers. If they get
Yeah.
hurt, if they just have a bunch of injuries and we kind of limp to like a 13-9 victory, then it's like, okay. But if they go out and it's like even if the defense doesn't necessarily play great, but they get a stop or two and it's a fucking shootout, like a Mahomes, Mayfield, fucking Texas Tech OU shootout, which will never happen. But like, that would instill confidence in me. I don't think I've had since maybe going into the NFC Championship game back in 2020, and you saw how that turned out. But
Well, I think you have a better chance of beating Brock Purdy than you do. Like Brock Purdy, like the rest versus rust debate. Like
yeah,
you have a
yeah,
better chance of going up against Brock Purdy than you do like Mayfield and Goff, who have been
yeah.
playing in these playoffs and have looked really fucking good. And like, yeah, your defense has looked a lot better. You're gonna have to go up against either Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Trey Palmer, and Baker Mayfield, or you're gonna have to go up against Jared Goff, Amon-Ra St. Brown,
Dave
Josh
Montgomery, Jameer
Reynolds.
Gibbs, Sam Laporta.
Yeah, like it's kind of terrifying in a way. Which you've beaten the Lions on Thanksgiving, but now you got to do it again, and they're probably pissed thinking
Yeah,
about that.
this is the thing I keep coming back to, and it's what I said early in the season before the Packers lost the back-to-back games to the Giants and the Bucks. They're so young, and
They're
now
gonna make mistakes.
you're going to make mistakes, and the letdown is there somewhere. You just hope it doesn't come in the playoffs when
Wasn't no
you
letdown
can't
against the
go back.
Cowboys.
Yeah, that is true. I just every time I get a little too excited, I'm like, it's coming. Just come back down the
I
earth. It's
feel that.
coming.
I fucking so feel that as a Bears fan.
I feel it as a Thunder and a Cubs fan too. But moving on. So this game we were supposed to have on Sunday, but they decided they'd like to have civilians in Buffalo, New York, shovel snow all day. But Steelers, Bills. The Bills just whooped their ass, man.
Yeah. It looked like for a second Mason Rudolph was going to go down and score so I can get my cover, and it just didn't happen.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're a Steelers fan, like you had no expectations going into that game. You're going up against the Bills. I mean, it looked like they could have mounted a comeback, but you just like the hope was just so slim.
Yeah.
And Josh
It
Allen looked fucking good.
did. He looked very good. What do you think? So there were two plays I kept seeing today. It's funny to think about because we didn't even talk about it in the Browns game where that dude did a little fucking spin on top of Joe Flacco after he nearly murdered him.
Spinner.
Yeah. So there were two plays in this game. Now, obviously, Khalil Shakir had an insane touchdown.
Yeah. I don't even know how he scored right there.
I fucking know, dude. God, I remember watching. I saw him catch it, and I was like, "Damn, nice play." And then I was like, "The fuck just happened?" But Josh Allen's touchdown run, where it kind of looked like he was going to slide and give himself up, and then he just shut off running again. And then there was one play where he got hit as he was giving himself up, and they threw the penalty, right? So it kind of goes back to that defensive player giving himself up, targeting whole thing. What do you think about it?
I didn't even like when I first saw it. It didn't look like he was trying to slide. It looked like he was just trying to do like a weird juke, you know. But a lot of people were saying like it looked like a fake slide.
Now it wasn't the Kenny Pickett fake slide.
Yeah, I guess if you're a Steelers player, like if you're a defender, you're thinking like, oh, he was trying to slide. Like when you're watching it from a television, it looks kind of different. Like it looked like he was just like doing a white boy juke, you know.
Yeah.
It definitely wasn't a. It was definitely a white boy juke, you know. Like he stopped in place, like maybe.
It was that Drake Stoops fucking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We didn't even do that. Like he just stopped. It looked like, you know, he was trying to fake out the defender, like he's gonna keep running left, or like do something, but then like he.
It was a smart juke.
That's
what it was. It wasn't athletic. It was just.
It was like a stop and go, you know, like he was running a route almost. But and then the play where like he gets hit, he's obviously like in his slide already. Like I thought it was a good call.
Yeah.
Like you know, it wasn't anywhere near the end zone either.
Yeah.
So like I thought it was a good call. I don't know. You bring up a good point, but like just from real time when I watched it, it didn't look like he was sliding. Like it didn't look like he was even.
I didn't think he was sliding. I was really confused, and I saw people bringing that up. That's why I wanted to bring it up to you. People were like, "Oh, he was going to slide. He faked the slide." I was like, I thought he was just doing a really shitty stop and go.
Yeah, no, it looked like he was just running a shitty route.
Yeah,
but like it resulted. I mean, I guess you could make the argument, but I didn't see it.
No.
And a lot of people are saying like I'm a football guy and I know football, so you know, to me it looked like he was, you know, just like running, like redirecting himself.
Yeah.
No, it was a good stop because like the defender was like coming out of a missile.
Yeah.
So like he stopped to avoid the defender, make the defender, you know, change his angle on the tackle.
Yeah. I can't say enough about how terrified the rest of the NFL should be about the Bills right now.
Yeah.
This is who we thought the Bills are going to be when the season started. So I thought they were going to be. When they play their A game, they're the best team in the NFL.
Yeah.
Hands down, the best team in the NFL.
And they're also
the ball over. They're playing efficient. They're playing good, stingy defense. They don't have to play great defense. Play stingy defense, and they'll be fine. The thing that does scare me about them is how many injuries they have on that side of the ball. But they've still played well through it, especially lately in the season. Like they've just been able to keep fighting that injury bug and keep really beating the shit out of whoever they play.
Yeah. I didn't know how to feel about the Bills like coming into the season. Like I thought that they were going to be the same Bills that we saw last year. Like they're not going to be physical enough, but now they have a run game. That's a big factor. Like having a run game. Now you got two stud tight ends. You have Dawson Knox and Kincaid. Like you got a new play caller. You got, you know, Joe Brady calling the shots. Again, coaching matters. That's what this playoffs has kind of shown us.
Yeah.
But I will say this about the Bills. They are 6-0 since it came out that they worship Al Qaeda. So I don't know if there's any correlation.
There might be.
I'm raising awareness.
I mean,
you know, I just wanted to ask you what your thoughts were.
I'll go back to what Shane Gillis says. You know, those guys are brave.
Yeah.
Al-Qaeda, they're brave. They're not
Yeah.
pussies.
Yeah. The way they do their workouts, like in their training, they're very,
Monkey
very
bars are
smart and
real.
calculate.
Hey,
Very
I
smart and
snapped my
calculate.
leg on a I snapped my leg on the monkey bars. Okay, there's some pretty athletic guys if they can get through that without falling.
Yeah. 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 But yeah, Josh Allen, he's incredible. Like
Yeah.
if they can continue to play the way that they did against the Steelers, like again, like what's standing in the way of them making the Super Bowl? Like, we're already kind of anointing like the Ravens just because of what the Ravens have done, and like credit to them, like they look like the Super Bowl favorite, but like you can't count out the Bills or the Chiefs right now, and
hmm
especially like if the Bills continue to play the way that they're playing, like the Bengals don't stand in their way. Like the Bengals didn't make it. That would be the only team that I can think is like, yeah, they're not going to beat them just because, you know, like I don't know how to explain it. Like I know the Bengals weren't great this season, but like if they had Joe Burrow, like they'd be my Super Bowl favorite.
Yeah.
But it's different. Like it's different with the Bengals not in there. Any of these teams in the AFC could make the Super Bowl. I think the Texans could with the rookie
Yeah.
quarter. I mean, I don't like they're like my least odds to make it, but I wouldn't be surprised if they did with how they're playing. But
Yeah.
yeah, like to go back to the Bills, like I get it, it was the Steelers. Like the Steelers aren't great, but like again, they made the playoffs. They took care of business. They did what they're supposed to do. Like it's not easy to win all your games in the playoffs.
I mean, it's not easy just to get to the fucking playoffs.
And the Steelers have always kept most of their games close too. So I thought this was going to be a much closer game. So
Yeah.
credit to
No,
the
I
Bills.
definitely. I mean, I thought they were going to cover, and I
Yeah,
thought the over was going to hit. The over hit. They just
didn't
just
yeah.
didn't cover.
Bills when they're
Um,
on their A game, they're a different team. They're scary.
they are very scary, and you bring up a good point with their physical run game. James Cook is fucking fantastic.
Yeah, like he had a fumbling issue at the beginning of the year, but like you can't stop giving him the ball
Yeah.
because
No.
he's electric with the ball in his hands.
100%. 100%. What do you think Pittsburgh has to do about the quarterback situation next year? Is Kenny Pickett the guy? Do they give him another year? Do they move on? I mean, Mason Rudolph's not a starting caliber NFL quarterback, and neither is Mitch Trubisky.
Yeah, it's over for Mitch for sure. But I
Do
think I
do
mean,
they get Bo Nix?
I think
Michael
they
Penix if
may.
he falls? JJ McCarthy?
I don't know. I really don't. I think they got to run it back with Kenny Pickett
Yeah,
because this is Mike Tomlin's last year on
think
his
so.
contract.
Well, it's his last year on contract, but I was also going to ask you about that. Did you see his post game interview?
Yeah,
What do you think about that? Is he going to be a Steeler after next season, or is he going to retire before the season or after the season, or is he going to go somewhere else? He's not that old, realistically.
he kind of looked old on the sidelines.
How old is Mike
He
Tomlin?
he aged in like 1 week. Like he looked kind of young last week, and he had gray hairs and wrinkles on his face. Like he definitely looked stressed. I'd say he's probably like in his 40s, maybe late 40s, early 50s.
He's 2 years younger than Brent Venables. Brent Venables is 53. Mike Tomlin's 51.
Yeah, so he's got plenty of time. Uh-oh. That press conference. Yeah. Oh, I mean, I don't know what to think of that. It was a simple question by the reporter. Hey, you got 1 year on your contract left. No, he
He
wasn't having
just
any of that. He just wanted to talk about. I don't even. It was like Marshawn Lynch. Like he didn't want to be there.
no, he didn't. I think it was more so of that than anything else really going on because, dude, he's obviously very
Again,
obvious reasons. He is a
again.
Pittsburgh legend and a Hall of Fame, Ring of Honor in Pittsburgh and a Hall of Fame coach.
Yeah, you got him a Super Bowl. But
Almost two,
not
but Aaron Rodgers is amazing. So
not having a TJ Watt. I mean, that is a big factor.
yeah,
Not having TJ Watt's a big factor. I mean, their defense is still good. They're
not
gonna
having
have
their
to.
starting quarterback's a factor.
Yeah,
But Kenny Pickett was healthy. They said cleared to play.
but Mason Rudolph was the hot hand. They wanted to go with the hot hand. Sometimes it pays off, and sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah,
Bills' defense was just, I guess, that much better.
guess so. Um, you got anything else? Any other thoughts on this game though?
No, not really. Do you
What
have
do
any
you
other
think?
thoughts?
What do you think? Well, first of all, no, I'm not gonna get into it. What do you think about the Bills fans throwing snowballs and shit at the players during the game?
I like it.
You do?
Those are the craziest fans probably in the NFL, except for Philly.
What do you think of Taylor Swift? What do you think she's gonna be walking into next week?
I don't know. Her box was kind of foggy. She hotboxed her box.
Oh, were you down there?
No, I just saw it on TV.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I just
Only
saw it on
fans.
TV. She hotboxed her box.
Let's pay
That box
attention.
was very hot.
Fair enough. Fair
But
enough.
it was funny that it was like super foggy and you couldn't see anybody in there.
I know she was just like behind the.
They were all smoking in there probably.
Probably.
Yeah. What do you think? What's crazy? How fast they cleared out the stadium of snow.
I know, dude.
Like there was not like a single ounce of snow. I did like the snowball. Like every time they scored a touchdown or a big play happened.
Yeah.
Like they were just throwing snowballs in the air. They looked like they were having a fun time.
Oh yeah, yeah. Fucking
And
Buffalo.
it never fails. Like Bills Mafia, like even before the game, like I love the videos of them like slamming through tables, like the one where they lit the table on fire and
Or jumped off the snow.
three of them did. Yeah.
Yeah.
That looks like a fun time. I'd like to go to a Bills game one day. Just
Those game would be fun. What do you think? You see the Steelers fans having to walk through all the snow to get to their seat?
yeah, that was funny.
Bills fans are the best, man.
Yeah.
I mean, they're equally worse.
I would hope Bears fans do the same thing.
I would hope Packers fans don't even.
Yeah.
Packers fans are too nice,
Listen,
dude.
Fans are always going to be crazy. Like that's
They have to
fanatics.
be.
Yeah. Like you're never going to change fans. Like they're always going to do something incredibly awesome that looks just really bad sometimes. Like we saw the Bulls, like the Jerry Krause,
Yeah.
the ceremony, like the Ring of Honor,
Mm.
and they were booing Jerry Krause while her fucking widow was there. Like that's just what fans do. Like in reality, that you can't even put that on the fans. Like I mean, like it was wrong for them to boo, but if anything, like Jerry Reinsford, the owner, was the one to blame for that.
Yeah.
But again, like that's fans. Like fans are always going to do something like incredibly crazy that media critics are going to go on Twitter and be like, I can't believe they did that. It's like you can't put that on the fans. Like you can look at that as like a bad thing, like with them not clearing the snow for the Steelers fans, which I don't think it is a big deal, but like it's funny.
Yeah,
it's
very funny.
Yeah,
it's very funny.
Like fans are always going to do stupid shit like that. Like they're going to do stuff that may not look good in the line of light, but like you can't help it. That's just fans are fans.
Exactly. I do have one thing to say, and this might be a bit much. It might be a bit of a hot take. Turning into the hot take guy here. And this is way off. I mean, not necessarily. We're kind of talking about fans. You know who I think has some of actually the worst fans from an experience or fanatic standpoint in the NFL and college football?
So we're talking just straight football?
Yeah, just football in general.
Who?
Oklahoma. OU fans in the game fucking blow ass, dude. I don't know if I've just gotten a bad draw for every. I've been 30 fucking games. I don't know if I've gotten a bad draw. They're so old, bro. They're so annoying.
Yeah.
Like, we don't have crazy fans. That's why our.
It'll change. SEC. It'll change.
You think so?
It just means more.
What they need to do is make the tickets cheaper and let these fucking crazy ass rednecks in Oklahoma get there.
Yeah.
Fuck these old people, okay? We need crazy ass
like the younger crowd.
Yeah, exactly.
You need the younger crowd there.
That's why our fucking our tailgates suck ass too. But anyways, moving on. I just had to throw that in there.
No, you're right. Like you're not the only one that thought that. Like I've been thinking that for years. Like we need some fanatics. We need.
I literally, bro,
fans.
every OU game. Fuck, I know. Every OU game I've been to, I swear to God, I get an annoying ass old person next to me that's like telling people to sit down. Like, bro,
I know.
Shut the fuck up, man. But you got any other thoughts on Bill Steelers though? Stillers.
No. The Stillers.
The Stillers.
They got a lot of questions coming up.
They do.
But I would kill for a coach like fucking Mike Tomlin just to have nothing but winning seasons in your entire tenure.
I know, dude. I know. It's almost like that. It really reminds me of like the Bob Stoops era in Oklahoma. Like you get a ring, and you get pretty fucking close, but you're always good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're always.
Which at the same time, I guess, could be kind of like
frustrating.
Yeah, it could be frustrating because like you judge like your success off of Super Bowls, especially if you're a franchise like the Steelers.
Yeah.
But again, I'm not I cheer for losing culture.
I mean, I
hadn't
do the
always
same
been
shit
losing.
in Green Bay. Like, it's Super Bowl or bust pretty much every season until this year, but now it looks like to be the same. But final game of Super Wildcard Weekend, the OU DNA, the QBU Bowl, Bucks, Eagles. Man, Baker looked fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
So did the Bucks defense, by the fucking way. But
Yeah. So the
Baker looked
Bucks,
amazing.
yeah, the Bucks, they could beat anybody right now, just in my opinion, the way that they're playing. And like shout out their coaching staff, like Todd Bowles and Dave Canales and all them, because like they were 4-7 at one point. They were written
Yeah,
off. It was like, okay, this is the Saints and Falcons division to win. Like the Bucks, they're not good, just like we anticipated. Where they are, winning the division, probably in cap hell too. You give a chance to a quarterback who had been kind of tossed to the side, and you give him a small contract and incentives, and look where they are now. They're in the divisional round.
yeah.
And the fact that they're doing that with Todd Bowles as their head coach, who just was like, he was shite for the Jets. Like, like it was bad. Like both of the like Todd Bowles and Baker Mayfield, it was like at one point, what is you're saying? You're going up Shit's Creek with no paddles.
Oh, you're up Shit's Creek without a paddle.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what it was. Like they were both trying to turn their career around, and like they fucking just dog walked the Eagles. They did exactly kind of what I wanted them to. And I feel bad for Jalen Hurts, but like Baker looked fucking good. Like he was throwing the ball
yeah.
like really well. And then he probably would have had like two more touchdowns and 450 yards had it not been for the drops. Like they had some drops. Like the game
Dude,
would have been put away.
Cade Otton, bro, the easiest, and you've said this, you said it to me in text, and I've believed this for a while. It's with quarterbacks sometimes. Sometimes the easiest play is the hardest one to make
Yeah.
because it's so easy.
Sometimes
You
the throw is
overthink
just
it.
yeah, sometimes the throw's too easy that it's just hard.
Yeah.
Like
Or maybe Cade Otton goes on the sidelines and just eats greasy, buttery ass popcorn.
I don't know. Like it is weird though. Like it's weird that happens because maybe Baker's just throwing the ball too hard. Like, is that what
I
it is?
don't know. Because he went up for a couple balls and got drilled and came down with it. And then he's catching a wide open slant over the middle and it's right through his hands.
But if you're watching this game as
Maybe he
a
needs
Browns,
gloves.
yeah, he
It's a
wasn't wearing
sick
gloves.
it's a sick look with the tape fingers, but I think he needs gloves.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he doesn't wear gloves because he thinks they're for pussies.
Maybe.
Is that what it is?
Maybe. Maybe he
Is he
needs
like
to
maybe he wants
feel
that like that
it's
old
part of the
yeah
game,
yeah,
reconnect with his
or he
family.
like wants to feel that pigskin,
Yeah. Feel that leather.
Yeah, we'll get him on the podcast one day and we'll ask him why he does that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so again, Baker looked really fucking awesome. If you're a Browns fan or if you're the Haslams, you're watching that game like fuck.
Yeah.
Because he played with a broken shoulder. He didn't look good in that final season, like playing with a broken shoulder. And then again, caught a case of the Panthers.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, we won this trade. And then Sean McVay revived his career, and Dave Canales is just helping him take it off. Credit to Dave Canales, great coach.
Mm-hmm.
You scheming guys open. And now, like, if you're the Bucks, you got to pay Baker.
Have to.
Yeah, you got to pay him. Even if you're in Cap Hill, like, you got to find a way. I think he'll take a team friendly deal. I think he wants Mike Evans and Chris Godwin still there.
What do you think, team friendly? 17 million?
Maybe 17, 18.
Yeah.
Maybe like 2 years, 40 million. Two
Somewhere around there.
years. Yeah, 2 years, 40 million. They do have like they have dead cap. Like they aren't looking good in terms of cap space.
But they were
They'll figure it
negative
out.
80 million at the start of the year. Or at
Yeah,
the end of last year.
yeah. And then like Kalijah Cansey, the guy they got from Pitt, he's looked good.
Yeah.
Like Vita Vea still is really fucking awesome. I don't know.
Levante David's still playing well.
Yeah.
Um,
So like everybody played well, and the Bucks like say what you want, like maybe they don't look like the best team. Maybe I get they played like an Eagles team that just derailed that in a way that we've never seen before, but still like I believe like they have a chance to make the championship game,
yeah.
the AFC championship.
Well, every team in the NFC Championship game has a shot. So I saw this interesting thing today. Two years ago, 1 year, 2 years ago. Look at all four of the starting quarterbacks in the NFC. All right, Baker had just been essentially shunned, and they tried to off him with the Browns. They tried to kill Baker, couldn't do it. Took him a year, obviously, with
Yeah, he's like
Panthers and
Jason Statham. He just doesn't die.
yeah, exactly. Packers. Jordan Love had just had his one and only start the first 3 years of his career in Kansas City. Looked bad, was sitting behind MVP after MVP Aaron Rodgers, right? Who didn't want to stop playing, still doesn't want to stop playing. Brock Purdy had just finished a 7-5 season with Iowa State, losing in the Cheez-It Bowl to Clemson, I think, and was Mr. Irrelevant, last pick in the draft. And then Jared Goff. The Rams were done. They were tired of him. They offloaded him. They traded him to fucking Detroit for a quarterback that took him to go win the Super Bowl. All four starting quarterbacks on these NFC divisional round teams thought their career was over just 2 years ago. Maybe not Jordan Love, but they weren't in a great situation. We'll put it that way. And now one of them is about to be in the playoff or Super Bowl.
Well, let me ask you, of the black quarterbacks that are in the playoffs right now between Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Jordan Love, CJ Stroud, and Baker Mayfield, who's the better of the bunch?
I love you. I mean, obviously, I have to say Jordan Love. Patrick Mahomes is the best. Obviously, Patrick Mahomes is the best. But
yeah, but who's got sicker dance moves?
Baker.
Yeah, Baker has the sickest dance moves on the planet.
I mean, also Baker's got an underwear line or had one with PSD, and the motherfucker was acting like Tyson. He was taking pictures of the tiger in front of a Rolls Royce. All right,
yeah,
it's Baker.
I don't think anybody was beating Baker last night with the smelling salts and everything, like at home. Yeah, no, nobody was
fucking around with the Gatorade or with the water bottle, spraying his coat.
He literally he did a fuck it throw.
Yeah,
like his final throw was just like fuck it, I'm just gonna chuck it. Like we're already gonna win this game. And it was like almost on the fucking dot too.
I thought it was going to Evans. Like the way the camera looked, I thought it was going to the corner to Evans, and I was like, "Dear God, Baker!" I was like, "He's just fuck it." And then I looked up, and Chris Godwin just spins around and comes down with it. That's what that Hail Mary should have been. By the way.
Yeah.
What Buffalo? Yeah, was it Buffalo?
Yeah, it was against Buffalo. They were holding him.
Yeah, but I mean, it was just everything went right for them. Everything.
Yeah, I know it was hard to to me, it wasn't hard to choose. Like I like Jalen Hurts and like I like what he's been and like what he's been through and everything, but like it was just different with Baker because like with Jalen Hurts, everything happened in college. When he got to the NFL, like he had the immediate success and like he had been to a Super Bowl and he had proven like what he can do. Like he's talented. Like this is, hey, you're gonna get an MVP Super Bowl quarterback if you just give him the right coaching and the right personnel. With Baker, it was like we don't know because he played for the fucking Browns, a team that had like super high expectations for him when he got drafted, but just didn't help him.
I mean, the GM wanted him, the coach didn't want him. They gave him 5 coaches and 5 offensive coordinators in 2 years.
They sent him to the fucking Panthers. Panthers. That's how much they fucking just hated him, I guess. Yeah. Like, we hate this guy so bad, we're going to send him to the fucking Panthers. With
almost as bad as sending him to the Bears.
Yeah. Dick.
Gotcha.
Not quite.
The Jets, really, but
not quite. Yeah, I think it'd have been worse with the Jets. The Bears are set up in a point. They're set up at a pace now where like they get another receiver. They need a passing quarterback. So I would love to have Baker. Like they need like a guy that could throw the ball and like take chances. That's the thing with Baker. He looked comfortable. Like he was making the right reads. Like some of the throws he was making, it was like, oh yeah, I knew he could do that. Mm-hmm. If you didn't watch him in college, you're like, holy shit! Like this guy, like look what he can do with a competent franchise.
What do you think about Lincoln being there?
I didn't care.
What do you think about Gerald McCoy dapping him up?
I don't care. Okay. I'm over it, man.
I know. I am too. But I saw
I don't know.
I'm freaking the fuck out about it. I thought it was funny. Some of them, they were covering his name was like Mark ass bitch. Like some of it was funny. But
yeah, I know. No, yeah. And that's why I love fans. Like fans are awesome for that. But like, I don't know. I was more interested in like the game itself. Like I saw him on the sideline. I was like, well, he coached both of them. Like I guess
exactly.
That's fair. You know.
Um,
I'm at a point now where like when he went to USC, it was like, okay, like now what do we do? Like, like he's at USC, it sucks, but like we gotta focus on
preventables. So
yeah.
I think that's what Gerald McCoy. I saw someone on Twitter was like, Gerald McCoy only dapped him up to thank him for leaving OU.
Yeah, I saw that. That was funny.
I do have a couple questions for you though. So, and these are about the Eagles. One is Devontae Smith. Now, AJ Brown's obviously fantastic, right? Is Devontae Smith? Okay, I have three things because I thought this was funny. Is Devontae Smith a number one receiver?
People were kind of casting him off and saying that he wasn't going to be able to play in the NFL because of his stature and size, but like, I think he could be. Yeah, he's pretty fucking good. He won a Heisman.
Yeah. Yeah.
He had the best receiving season that any receiver had in college football ever.
Got another question for you about the Eagles. Does Jalen Hurts hate Dallas Goedert?
Let me ask you this: does Jalen Hurts hate football?
I don't think so.
He just looks like it.
Sometimes
he hasn't been happy. He hasn't been happy since they were winning last year.
Yeah, I know.
Like, have fun. It's like when I watch Justin Fields. Like, the only time I've seen Justin Fields smile was after the win against San Francisco.
Yeah.
Like, dudes, smile more.
Did you see though, and I'm sure you did, where Dallas Goedert and Jalen got into it on the sideline, and then on the very next drive, Jalen threw the hospital ball. So fun, so fucking fun.
Coincidence?
I think the fuck not. Jalen was trying to hurt that man. So, another question for you: with Bill Belichick now being a free agent coach, and the Eagles having the issues, I'm a firm believer that they should hold on Nick Sirianni and just do a rehaul on their coaching staff underneath him. Do you think the Eagles need to move on from Nick Sirianni and go get Bill Belichick if they can, or do you think they keep him?
So let me ask you this. Are you saying that because you think there's a chance that the Eagles could be in the playoffs next year, and if they keep Nick Sirianni as head coach, the Packers could just dog walk him because he's that bad of a head coach?
No, because the NFC outside of Dallas fucks Green Bay in the playoffs, so the NFC East, I should say.
Well, here's the thing with like
hopes are high.
The Nick Sirianni situation. Eagles fans are already done with him. They were done with him after the loss to the Cardinals.
Eagles fans are done with just about everything outside of a Philly cheesesteak. So,
yeah, they could be done with Jalen Hurts too.
Yeah,
I hate it for Jalen Hurts because that's my guy. Like thank you for what you did at Oklahoma, but the the memes are funny where it's like Jalen Hurts, the only thing he can think about is the inspirational quote that he's going to give at the podium.
Press conference.
Yeah. It's like, Jalen, can you please complete this pass so we can drive down the field and get into the end zone? It's just like him just saying some like Shakespeare quote.
There would never be diamonds without pressure. It was like,
yeah, I know.
Motherfucker.
Some of the stuff was honestly kind of hilarious, but I don't know. I know one Eagles fan, and he lives in fucking Fort Worth, and I haven't even talked to him in a while. So he was at his all-time high when he fucking beat Brady in the Super Bowl with Nick Foles.
I text my buddy that's a Niners fan because he always gives me shit, obviously, and I started texting. He's on Snapchat. We start texting someone. It's like, hey, so-and-so is typing. I started texting him, and he immediately got in there before I hit send. He was like, see you next week, bud. And I'm sorry. And I was like, fuck you, man. Fuck you, dude. But you got anything else in the Eagles-Bucks game?
Well, to revert back to your question, I don't know how to feel. Like, a lot of people don't like Nick Sirianni.
I think he's a fantastic coach. But then again, was he just held up by a great staff?
I don't know. I mean, that's a good question. They can't fucking tackle for shit. It was like watching 2018 Oklahoma. Like, poor direction on their tackles. Guys wide open. You saw the David Moore, Trey Palmer touchdowns.
Yeah.
You saw the
that
Chris
Trey Palmer one was. Oof. The David Moore one was bad. By the way, David Moore, product of Ada, Oklahoma. He went to ECU. I don't know if you know that or not, but
yeah, he's from Gainesville.
Yeah.
Gainesville, Texas. Like just a couple.
Yeah, and he went to
north
East
from
Central in Ada, but
pretty good at football.
He's very good at football. But the Eagles look like it's crazy for all the hype they get for the tush push or the brotherly shove and the physicality on offense, their
I love
defense
that was
lacks
their highlight
every.
reel. Like
Yeah.
they made a highlight reel of Jalen Hurts, and it was just like the tush push.
Did you see the Jason Kelsey thing? By the way, he's retiring. I don't know if you saw that or not.
That was another
Um,
interesting stat that I was going to bring up. So Baker Mayfield has now won 2 playoff games. He's got more playoff games since 1995, since the Browns. He has basically put teams that made it to the playoffs but derailed at the end of the season, the 2020 Steelers, when
yeah.
they started 12-0, and then this Eagles team, he's put them out of their misery. And fun fact, both of those teams, their star Hall of Fame center retired.
Damn, really?
Yeah, Pouncey for the Steelers retired
Fuck.
after that game, and then Kelsey retired. So he's a center killer.
So does
People
that
say
mean
he's a coach killer, but he's a center killer.
at some point, are is Baker gonna maybe play the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, beat them, and that'll be Creed Humphreys last year?
Ooh, that's a good question. We'll have to get back to that because
We will.
if you want to know how fucking good Baker Mayfield is in the playoffs, he's only lost to Patrick Mahomes and
Yeah.
Andy Reid. So
Yeah.
that's just
And that was a close fucking game, by the way. That
yeah.
took a Tyreek Hill sprint out, a Chad Henne sprint out throw to Tyreek Hill on what, 4th and 2?
Yeah,
Third and 2 to win it.
Yeah, all it took was for Mahomes to get injured too, but
Yeah, of course. But
it would have been close either way.
did you see the Jason Kelsey thing where they were asking him about the brotherly shove? And he was like, I fucking hate my life. And then he was like, I fucking love my life. He said that game takes years, or that play takes years off him every time.
Did you see they stopped it?
Yeah.
Like, or did the
I
in
mean,
the fashion that they did? Because like he went underneath Jason Kelsey.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
The face
They
mask
call
was
it.
pretty bad. They didn't call it though.
Yeah,
Well,
what
it's only
face mask?
illegal. Yeah, I don't know. It's only illegal if you get caught. So
Yeah, I didn't see a face mask.
we can kill that guy.
But he went underneath. Like I think it was Kalijah Cansey went
Was it him?
underneath,
Yeah.
and then Vita Vea like matched. Dude, that was
Vita Vea
crazy.
is fucking
He's
monster.
a tank. He's huge, and they're gonna have to keep him like because he's still in his prime.
Oh yeah, he's so good. They draft defensive tackles really well.
Well, the thing is, like, we've known them to be, for some reason, this, like, unstable, like, bad organization just because of the couple of years that they had, but they won a Super Bowl in 2002. They got Hall of Famers. Like, they draft really well. They're a good organization that cares about winning.
Think about their defensive line, just their defensive line ring of honor, okay? You got 2 of the Selman brothers. You got Warren Sapp. You can throw Mike Allstott in there. I know he played running back and fullback, but that motherfucker is a tank. And then
Dude,
Gerald
Allstott
McCoy.
was that dude.
Yeah. Gerald McCoy was a monster his entire career. Vita Vea. Dominican Sue played there a couple of years. He was a Lion, though. But, I mean, still, like, and that's not even all of like, they've drafted so well along the defensive line.
Well, look at Shaquille Barrett. And Shaquille Barrett, I know he's an edge rusher, but still, like, he was a stud in his prime before he got old.
And, I mean, linebackers, Levante David's a monster. They had, Devin White? Is that his name?
They still have Devin White.
Yeah. It's just, they draft really well, especially on defense. I mean,
Jamal Dean.
Winfield, Jamal Dean's a monster. I mean, everybody, man.
You just need to steer the ship. Like, you need to, like, you're in the right direction. Like, Todd Bowles, the fantastic defensive coach. Like, he's just really fucking awesome. And now, like, you got a really hot Lions team that is, like, their only goal is forward. So, like, if you're going to beat them, you can't make mistakes.
Yeah.
But the Eagles, I've never seen a fall off like the Eagles have had. And so, like, is it because Nick Sirianni's, like, not a good coach and, like, his teams aren't physical and he was carried by, like, Shane Steichen just being such an awesome coach and, like, Jonathan Gannon being such a good defensive coordinator? Maybe. Mm-hmm. But I think there's a team just a little bit south of me that's looking at Bill Belichick. So,
yeah. I'd agree with that. You have anything else on that game, though?
No, man. I'm just happy for Baker. That was fun to watch. It put a smile on my face. The last touchdown that he threw, like, I needed 3 more points for the over, but I mean, that's fine. Like, I'm happy for him, and I'm glad that they, like, the divisional round next week is going to be awesome between the Lions and the Bucks, and then we got the Bills Chiefs. That's going to be a lot of fun. Ravens Texans is going to be fun.
Packers Niners.
I'm sorry, buddy.
It's over. It's over next weekend.
Yeah.
But I do have 2 questions I want to ask. We do have Jordan Love. I do have two questions I want to ask you. They're related to this weekend. So, first one, who was the best or most impressive team from Wildcard Weekend? I mean, my thought would be the Bills, but
The most impressive team?
yeah.
Probably the Packers.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I'd have to say the Packers. The Texans were very impressive too, but the Browns had so many injuries. Like the Browns had so many injuries. So it's like,
Yeah.
like, are the Texans just like that good, or were the Browns suffering because they had their fourth string quarterback and like just weren't healthy?
Yeah.
Packers, like that was an absolute ass kicking. It was over after 21-0.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And then
Who do
it's
you
kind
think
of
was the most impressive team? You
I
said the
think it's the
Bills?
Bills. Yeah. I mean, I know they were expected to beat the Steelers. It was a 7-point spread, but they looked like the most dominant team. I know the Packers beat the shit out of the
Eye
Cowboys.
test.
Yeah, the eye test for the Bills is the best. Also, so out of the NFC or the AFC, where's the Super Bowl champion right now? Are they in the NFC or are they in the AFC?
The Super Bowl champion?
Yeah. You don't got to pick a team, just conference.
Probably AFC.
I think so, too.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at the Ravens, you look at the Bills, look at the Chiefs. Hell, even the Texans get hot. Realistically, in the NFC, I mean, obviously the Lions, the Niners really are your two favorites there. Bucks could do it. The Packers could do it. Realistically, both of those teams could. But I think the AFC is a much better shot at one of those four winning it than one of the four in the NFC.
Let me ask you, who do you think was the most impressive quarterback? You can be truthful.
I mean, probably Jordan or CJ Stroud. Did you see their stat lines, by the way?
It's like almost
They're
the
both
exact
16
same.
of 21. CJ had 274. Jordan was 272. They both had 3 touchdowns, no picks, and a 157.2 passer rating. Probably Jordan Love. I think he played a better defense. I mean, the Browns the best defense, but they were really banged up. And CJ Stroud is just phenomenal. But I think Jordan played a better game.
I want to throw some stats out there for you real quick.
Okay.
So, like, I got 3 quarterbacks for you.
Okay.
Now, quarterback A, you know this one. All right.
Mm-hmm.
21-16, 272, 3 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
Quarterback B, 22 of 36, 337 yards and 3 touchdowns. Just a little bit more yards. And then quarterback C, 41 of 60, 403 yards, 3 touchdowns.
I know all 3 of them. It's
Who
Jordan.
Who was the most impressive?
Who's the most impressive? Probably Baker.
Yeah.
Stat wise.
Most impressive stat line?
Yeah. The 337 and 3.
Who's quarterback C?
Dak.
Yeah.
Threw the ball 60 times, dude.
That's elite. You gotta sign him to a max deal.
I think Campbell's already did.
Do what?
I think Campbell's already did.
You think so?
Yeah.
I don't know. If I'm a Cowboy, if I'm the Cowboys, I pay him I give him the bag. I give him a max extension contract than what he's already got.
I fucking agree.
Yeah, you got to keep him as long as you can. That's an elite stat line.
It's crazy.
Yeah. But, 41 of 60, 403 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 picks.
1 pick 6, by the way.
I didn't have the picks in there. We didn't see those. Stat line. Dak Prescott's elite. Cowboys fans be happy.
Nice. But I think that's going to do it for this episode. I think we'll be back here in a couple of days with our divisional round preview. You got anything else you want to get into?
I don't. What are you going to be doing all this week except for work? School?
Homework. Yeah, just school. And then I got to film other podcasts with my buddy probably tomorrow. But outside of that, it's just homework and sitting here in my Jordan Love shirt and smiling. So
yeah.
But I think
I can't wait to get into the draft. I want to talk about Chicago again.
He snuck him in today.
Yeah, I know.
But
I'm excited about the future.
I am too. I'm excited about where Green Bay's going. But with that being said, this has been the Big Ten Podcast, episode 29. As always, please like, comment, subscribe, share, and let us know. I mean, who was the most impressive team? Who do you think is going to win the Super Bowl? And how do you see this weekend going? Like I said, we'll be back here in a couple days. We'll get this posted. It's Tuesday night. We'll get this posted Wednesday morning, and then we'll probably record again on Thursday and have something go live Friday or Saturday before the playoffs start. But thank you as always for watching, and hope you have a wonderful week.